My name is Yana Lee.
And I'm Remy Choi, and today we'll be talking about the evolution of Korean cuisine.
발표를 시작하기 전에 혹시 보릿고개를 아시나요?
네.
보릿고개는 배고픈 시기를 뜻합니다. 아주 옛날에 모든 평민들의 주 음식은 보리였습니다. 그래서 보리가 더욱더 중요했지요. 하지만 보리가 자라기 위해서는 40일쯤이 필요합니다. 그래서 가을에 수확한 양식이 다 떨어지고 올해 농사지은 보리는 미처 여물지 않아서 5월, 6월에는 항상 배고픈 시기가 왔습니다. 너무 힘들 때에는 나무 껍질이나 비늘까지도 먹게 되었는데요. 이 어려움을 이겨낸다는 것을 보릿고개를 넘기다 라고 표현을 했지요. 그래서 한국인들에게 밥은 중요한 의미를 갖게 되었습니다. 한국인에게 밥과 먹다의 의미는 아주 중요한 부분에 많이 적용되는 것을 알 수 있습니다. 예를 들어 가족에게 식사란 함께 모여 추억을 쌓는 시간을 뜻하기도 하지요. 또 누구를 만날 때 밥 먹었어요? 로 대화를 시작하고 헤어질 때는 다음에 밥 한번 같이 먹어요. 로 대화가 끝나죠. 그리고 밥이 너무 중요해서 한국인은 밥심이라는 말이 있기도 합니다.
So back in the time, Korea was split into different social classes, and depending on what social class you're in, the amount of food on the table will differ. So no matter what social class you were in, you would always have soup, rice, soy sauce, and kimchi. And the commoners, they would have, including the basics, they would have sprouts such as 콩나물 included. The commoner or the nobleman, also known as 양반, on a normal day, they would have 3 to 5 dishes, and if they had guests over, they would have 7. The king's servants, they would have 9 dishes on the table on a normal day, and the king and his family would have a grand total of 12 dishes on the table for them to enjoy.
자, 다음은 올바른 상차림을 알아보겠습니다. 먼저 밥그릇. 밥그릇은 제가 먹는 자리에서 왼쪽에 갈까요? 오른쪽에 갈까요? 손 한번 들어주세요.
왼쪽.
왼쪽이요? 그럼 왼쪽에 두겠습니다. 다음은 국그릇입니다. 국그릇은 밥그릇의 왼쪽일까요? 오른쪽일까요?
오른쪽.
오른쪽이요. 다른 의견 없으신가요? 자, 다음은 수저. 뭔가 이상하죠? 우리 민족의 자랑 젓가락을 오른쪽에 두고 이제 올바른 위치가 1번, 2번, 3번 중 어디일까요?
3번.
3번이요? 그럼 3번에 두겠습니다. 자, 올바른 상차림은 밥, 국, 수저 차례로 맞습니다. 그런데 어제 제가 이 발표를 준비하면서 우리 어머님께서 2번이 맞다고 우기시는 거예요. 그래서 여태까지 2번이 맞다고 생각하신 분들은 오늘 올바른 상차림을 배워가는 겁니다.
So Korea is very strict with table etiquette, and some of the basic table etiquettes are children set the table, correct placement of the dishes and utensils, elders first for everything, saying 잘 먹겠습니다 before you eat, and saying 잘 먹었습니다 after, formalities, and matching everyone's eating speed. So just like meals and the amount of tables that go on your table, the amount of dishes that go on your table. Your social ranking also can affect where you sit at the table with a group meeting. So if you're lower in social class, you would sit near the door because there's more disturbance there. And the higher class you are, the further away from the door you sit from. The elders always eat and sit first before the youngest can. And to explain the last bullet point, eating too fast, it can show that you don't want to really be there and that you have other places to be. And while on the other hand, eating slow can show that you don't really enjoy the food and that you're dragging every bite. Although you can think that eating fast could show that you're really enjoying the food, Koreans might not see it that way, and I think it's important to know that.
Next up, we're going to be talking about the different foods of Korea. So, if you think of one representative Korean food, it would definitely be kimchi. Kimchi is on every meal, and it has been on the dining tables of every Korean family for many years. And kimchi is actually considered a main dish rather than a side dish. However, kimchi back in the day, it wasn't a very strong, flavorful, and red dish. It was actually more similar to what is known today as baekgimchi. It had no red peppers, and it was barely salted, and it was preserved with soy sauce, which is basically all that was in the food.
So unlike the kimchi from the past, modern kimchi, gochugaru was introduced, and from being only known in Korea, kimchi was actually brought into space, and a lot of people know about kimchi these days because of its various spices. Just like before, Korea's representative food is still kimchi, and modern kimchi is more like raw, fresh, and crunchy because of its new technology of preserving food. There's a popular belief that kimchi is actually can prevent from you getting sick from illnesses, and although there's no specific scientific proof to back this up, there is a good acid in kimchi that's good for your body.
Moving on to the next food, bibimbap is another very popular Korean food that we all know of. And this has emerged in the Joseon, and it is very easy to make. A variety of ingredients are added into it, and each color of the ingredient means something. Red, which can be represented by the gochujang, represents your heart. Yellow, which can be represented by either potatoes or eggs, represent your stomach. Green, such as shigimchi or cucumbers, they represent your liver. And rice or other white foods represent your lungs. And last but not least, the kim or different kinds of mushrooms that are added represent your kidney.
So next is bulgogi. It was originally cooked on skewers on a haro grill, which is how it got its name bulgogi, which literally translates to fire meat. It's intensely flavorful, delicious, and it's been around for thousands of years, and it's finally gaining the popularity that it deserves to be recognized as. It's also known as makjok, and it's now a globally known food.
Another food that we'll be talking about is corn dogs or hotdog. Hotdog has started a craze in Korea and also carried on to other global countries. But did you know that hotdog originated from the 1980s? This was created to appeal passerbys in transitional spaces such as subways, schools, and rest stops, and it was very popular among the working population. Hot dogs were made very similarly to today. Sausages were covered in batter and deep fried until golden crisp. And today you can recognize that there are many variations as shown in the picture. Sometimes people will put cheese, and sometimes people will attach potatoes or sweet potato pieces to the outer side to give more flavor to it.
So for the last food, we have tteokbokki. It was originated in the 1800s. It was originally known as a refined food, so only nobles or members of the royal court could eat tteokbokki. But after the Korean War, this food has transformed into a whole different kind. There are normally two kinds of tteokbokki. There's regular and then there's gungjun tteokbokki. Gungjun tteokbokki is the same, just without the gochujang, and is also known as royal tteokbokki. The popularity of this dish has rose 450%, which proves that it's one of the most successful foods in Korea. It can be enjoyed as a easy dish and a snack while being very nutritious. So how did Korean food become so global? Well, K-drama has become a very big thing internationally, and since Western countries such as United States and Canada has been introduced to K-dramas, Korean food is featured in these dramas, which could persuade the viewers to go to Korea and try these dishes. Travel. Prior to COVID, maybe the travels to Korea were maybe not as high, but these days, currently, a lot of people from the Western countries have a lot of interest in Korea and want to travel to these places, and it also connects to media.
Today, social media platforms are being used very oftenly. Therefore, Korean food has been being advertised, and it was appealed to many different people. And the different recipes have been released to other people, allowing people to just make it on their own and enjoy it. And accessibility, even local stores like H Mart around us has different Korean foods that can be introduced to people that aren't very familiar, or even us that eats Korean food every day. So yeah, thank you.